I moved to Smyrna in 2001. I really grew up here. It's actually been crazy to see how much Smyrna has changed, how much more diverse it's become. It's become more socioeconomically diverse, more racially diverse. It's become a very unique city. We're also seeing that change happen politically, where we have a more dynamic, younger, creative group of people who are moving in here, looking for that excitement, looking to be attached to somewhere. And I think that's the Smyrna that we can really build together. Bridging gaps between young and old, between black and white, between rich and poor, and connecting us in a way that we've never been connected before.
I'm Ryan Campbell, and I approve this message.
We are in Ward 1, and Ward 1 is just a fascinating area. Definitely known for kind of the business district. There's a lot of opportunities in terms of commercial redevelopment over here as old business becomes new business. One of the opportunities really for Ward 1 is how do we redevelop and transition the economy over here to be as dynamic and as innovative and as creative as the people who live here. One of the focuses as a community, ward to ward, is really identifying the strengths of each ward. If Smyrna is going to be the city that it can be, it's going to be because it's a gateway city that opens doors of opportunity, and where people see that they can come here not only to live, but to be business owners, to be creative, and ultimately to thrive. We are going into Ward 2. So Ward 2 is the quiet ward in Smyrna, the most low-key ward. It is the smallest ward from just a square mile perspective. This is a ward that has different kinds of communities within it, but they all collaborate to work together to have an overall strong sense of community. That is something that I really appreciate about the ward. The level of collaboration, the close-knitness of the community, the focus of the community, the understanding of how government can work for them and how they can work with the government, the local government, and that people understand that what they put in is what they get out. Extremely important going forward as we continue to try and grow Smyrna. Actually headed to Ward 3. One thing I want people to know about this campaign is that it's about opening up new doors of opportunity. And you can't talk about communities like Rose Gardens without talking about opening up new doors of opportunity and seeing what people are capable of. You can't tell people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and then not give them any bootstraps. And the young people in Rose Gardens have potential to do great things. They have aspirations to do great things, but they need support from their government, they need support from their community, and they need support from their neighbors to make it happen. And that is how we are going to solve the big problems in Smyrna, not by working in silos, but by working together. These people deserve better than what they've gotten. They deserve to have somebody who is not only responsive to their needs, but open to their concerns. We cannot succeed as a city when Rose Garden doesn't succeed. It has to be a buy-in from everybody, and we have to all understand that we are in this together. All right, we are in Ward 4. Ward 4 is it is the established old soul of Smyrna. A lot of these neighborhoods have been here 20, 30 years, there's a lot of history here in terms of the first families kind of being established here and coming through here. It's great to see the journey that Smyrna has been on, and I think that journey is reflected here in Ward 4. It's a family-oriented community. It is a quiet community. It almost feels like it's locked away from the hustle and bustle of Smyrna. And that's what makes this community so unique. That's what makes it so rewarding. And that's why it's always so refreshing to come over here. As Smyrna has continued to grow, it's good to know that we still have that peace and tranquility to balance with some of the energy and high volume that we see in other areas of Smyrna. So we are headed into Ward 5. This is my home ward. It is a ward that is reflective of the changes that are going on in Smyrna, reflective of the redevelopment that is going on in Smyrna, reflective of the energy that is moving into Smyrna. This is a community that is extremely diverse, and this ward is reflective of how we move forward in Smyrna, of how we can work together to ensure that people, rich and poor, black or white, and anybody in between can really prosper in Smyrna. And as we focus in on the different issues that we have in Ward 5, it's important that we acknowledge the growth. It's important that we acknowledge the prosperity. It's important that we acknowledge the history that's here so that people can really understand what the journey of Smyrna has been. Headed into Ward 6, and Ward 6 is kind of like the mature big brother of Smyrna. It is a wise, established, connected community. It is a ward that is representative of all the changes and all the dynamics that have happened in Smyrna over the past 20 years. And this is a community that Smyrna can learn a lot from in terms of how to grow, how to develop, how to reduce crime, how to open doors of opportunity, and how one ward can be representative of all the good things that happen in Smyrna. And because of that, we've seen a thriving community, a healthy community, a community that's concerned about its schools, a community that is focused on holding people accountable. And that is the key to how we continue to grow Smyrna. Ward 7. It is a ward that has every kind of aspect that you could imagine. It is very diverse. It has different levels of density, different types of neighborhoods, and different groups of people who live here. This is also the ward that I grew up in. I grew up in a community called Vinings Estates. I think about the new neighborhoods that are popping up on Fontaine that will lure these younger families here so that they can have the same awesome childhood that I had. This is a ward of impact. It is a ward of direction. It is a ward of diversity. It is a ward of innovation. It is one of the wards that is a gateway to the city that is reflective of all the positive change in Smyrna and all the good momentum in Smyrna. And how if we harness this energy, everything starts to come together.
Hi, my name is Ryan Campbell, and I'm running to be your next mayor of Smyrna. As we start this campaign, I wonder, do we have courage? The courage to change a present that only works for some, but doesn't work for all. The courage to embrace sustainability. The courage to embrace new technology in our government, businesses, and places of worship. Do we have the courage to respect the past that brought us to this moment, while understanding that we must expect more, demand more, and reach for more? Courage is what allowed me to become an entrepreneur and create local businesses, creating over 100 local jobs. And courage is what has inspired me to run for mayor of Smyrna. The establishment tells us that we are too passionate, too young, and too idealistic. They say we should wait our turn, that investments in art and culture can wait, and investments in renewable energy should be put off. They say we can't stop companies from spewing cancerous toxins into our air and water. They say that the way it has always been is good enough for Smyrna, but we know better Smyrna. We know that Smyrna can work better for its citizens. I have a vision for a limitless Smyrna, a Smyrna that embraces technology and innovation, a Smyrna that embraces art and culture, a Smyrna that embraces efficient public transportation, a Smyrna that addresses cybersecurity, overcrowded schools, and unaffordable housing, a Smyrna that modernizes its infrastructure to ensure that citizens and businesses alike flourish. We run this campaign focused on the future, daring to show what we are capable of achieving when we work together. A Smyrna of courage, a Smyrna of innovation, a Smyrna of diversity, a Smyrna without limits. The path to a better future is through us. So let us be a Smyrna that reaches higher and achieves. And I promise that if I'm elected your next mayor, we will be that Smyrna, not because of me, but because of you.